Hey everyone, Brian from LCS here. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Today I want to talk about how to sell comic books on eBay. So stick around for my best tips. So hey guys, before we get started on how to sell comics on eBay, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the channel. I really appreciate everybody who's been, hitting that like button, leaving comments, subscribing to the channel. All of those things help build the channel. So I do really appreciate that. So let's jump right in. Let's talk a little bit about selling comic books on eBay. I've been selling on eBay for probably 20 years. Not comics. Not early on I would sell things from around the house or things that I was looking to get rid of. I would throw them up on eBay. Mainly electronics and things like that. But the last 2 years I've really been focused on selling just raw comic books. And so I've learned some things over the last 2 years. When I first started out, there's a little bit of a learning curve. You need to understand, a few things that really can help streamline, selling on eBay. So, what I want to share with you today are basically like 4 different tips that I have. The first is photos. Second is description. Third is researching sales, competitive sales, and then shipping and packing. All of these things are really important. So, let's jump right in. Let's talk about photos, right? So just think about it. If you're buying a comic book, what's the one of the most important things? The condition, right? And so on eBay, they allow you to place 12 photos. So you need to have quality photos of your book, right? You need to have a front cover, a full picture of a front cover, the full back cover, the corners, each of the 4 corners of the book, a spine shot, maybe the inside of the book to show the color of the pages, the quality of the pages, right? So I mean that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 photos. So you can go even take further photos to really show the condition. So most cell phones, Apple, Android have great cameras these days. So that's really all you need. You just need to put the books down somewhere in a good spot with good lighting, and just take those photos. I mean, it's one of the first things that a potential buyer is going to look at, and so you really need to include those. At a minimum, you should include, like I said, a full front cover and a full back cover. At the minimum, those 2 photos. Don't ever use a stock photo of a cover. I've seen this done many times, and when I'm looking for a book, because I buy on eBay as well. So if I'm looking for a book and I see that stock image of the cover or the comic, that's it. I go to another listing and look for something else. Even if it has a great price, without an actual photo, I have no idea what I'm getting if I were to buy it. So you have to have accurate photos. So now on the description. That's another important thing that you want to make sure is accurate. When you write out your description, explain to the potential buyer anything that's going on with the book, right? If there's a tear, if there's a staple issue, if there's a spine, color breaks, whatever the case may be. You want to be upfront and as accurate as you can be with your description, because the worst thing that could happen is that somebody buys the book, they get it, and there's something not noticed in the description, and they end up trying to return the book to you, right? And then you have to pay for return shipping. You have to credit them. So you want the description to be as accurate as possible. And one of the things that I do with my listings is I do not list the grading of a book. And quite honestly, I'm not a comic book grader, right? I understand the grading scale. I understand, what could really impact the grade of a book, but it's really just my opinion. And so I avoid putting, very fine, near mint, any of those grading descriptions in my descriptions of any of my raw books because I don't want anybody to misunderstand the quality of the book. So I want them to form their own opinion by looking at the photos and just being as descriptive as possible. If I do see something, if I do see a spine tick or a color break or a crease or whatever it may be, I try to include that and then let the buyer form their own opinion on what the grade they think it is. Obviously, if I'm selling an actual graded, slab, well then there it is. It's and I have sold some graded books, and they are, there's no. It takes the question when it's graded. There's no question what the quality of the book is. So that's really important. You don't want to be deceptive because it could potentially cause an issue with the buyer where they, like I said, they may want to send back the return or contact eBay, and so you really want to try to avoid that. The next thing is researching completed sales, right? So there are plenty of price guides out there. I typically look at Go Collect. Now, what a graded book is going to be a lot different than a raw book. So you really want to understand what the market is paying for books that you have that you want to list on eBay. So you can simply, search a book, and then by clicking on, completed sales, you can basically see all of the books that have sold recently and for what price. So it gives you really a guide of where you need to price your book to be competitive with other sellers. It's very easy to do. It's probably one of the last steps that I do. If I know what books I want to sell, I work on the photos, I get the description together, and then I list them. And then that last bit of research I can do kind of on the fly, because if I make a decision to sell a book today, but I don't list it for 2 weeks, the way the market's going right now, it could be it could be a big change. So if I do that research 2 weeks ago, I may be leaving money on the table. So I try not to do that research too far ahead, because I really want to see what the market is paying for books just as I list them. And then one of the other things too is you may need to adjust your prices over time, right? You may have a book that increases or decreases. So it's good to look back at your inventory of, active listings and make some adjustments as, new news comes out about, speculation news or potential, movie or TV show news that could impact the value of your books. And you really don't want to leave money on the table. So the last and, one of the other most important things is shipping and packing, right? Once you have somebody who's committed to buy, they paid you, and now you got to send that book off. You really need to be, careful with how you pack it, because I've seen pictures, I've heard stories, the horror stories, right? Of eBay sellers are terrible comic book sellers because they don't pack things properly. They take shortcuts. They're trying to cheap out. So you don't want to feed into that stereotype and duplicate those type of things. So Gemini mailers obviously are the kind of the gold standard for shipping. You can fit about you can go from a single comic book to up to about 12 comic books. You can include graphic novels, trade paperbacks, mangas in the Gemini mailer. But I don't always ship with a Gemini mailer because I may not have any on hand. And I recently created a video that basically describes my shipping process, packing and shipping process for eBay sales. So there's a link to it. You can check it out. But generally, you need to make sure that you're protecting the book, right? At a minimum, it needs to be bagged and boarded. You need to have it pressed between some cardboard and then some bubble wrap, right? You don't want this thing to get banged around in shipping. And you, depending on the platform that you use, I typically use United States Postal Service Priority Mail because it comes with insurance, there's tracking, and there's free shipping materials. So you need to just make sure it's packed well because you never know what's going to happen in transit. You can throw a "do not bend," write it on the envelope or the sticker, or fragile, and you never know how a postman will deliver it or jam it into a mailbox. So you want to try to prepare it as best as possible, for its travel, so that when it hits its destination, you don't have an issue. Now, I've had a couple books that I've shipped and I've packed, the same way, get damaged, right? I'm not sure how. Maybe somebody, was stuffed in a small mailbox. But I've had a couple buyers have to contact me, and the great, looking for a return or a refund. And the great thing about that is, because I ship priority mail, it comes with $50 of insurance. And so I was able to submit a claim through the United States Postal Service and able to get a refund and then pass that refund on to the buyer. And then everybody was happy. And I ultimately didn't lose any money for something that was really outside of my control. I let the buyer keep the books. He got a full refund, and I still kept, my money. And so everybody, it was a win-win for everybody. So, take a look at that video that I've created, and it really details step by step how I pack. Or if you have any concern about packing it by yourself, just go out and buy some Gemini mailers, and you'll be set. So, and I wanted to mention a little bit about why I sell on eBay. I exclusively sell comics on eBay. And, I hear people say, oh, well, eBay's too expensive. They take too many fees. But for me, it's the fee that eBay takes is worth it because it's low maintenance on my end, right? I take photos, create the listing, and I post it. And then it's pretty much, set it and forget it unless I need to adjust prices over time. I don't have to haggle with people. I don't have to try to track people down through, direct messages and remember who bought what. eBay takes all of that for me. And it's a worldwide, site. I have sold and shipped books, overseas. They have a global shipping program that makes it very easy for me to pack up books and ship. So it's really the reason why I use eBay and don't mind the fees that they charge is because it's low maintenance for me. I don't need to maintain my own website. I don't have to spend 4 hours live doing an auction and then worrying about payments and who bought what and all of those things. Basically, eBay takes that out of it for me, and it makes my life so much easier, right? So that's why I prefer eBay, because it streamlines things for me, and I've been doing it now for close to 2 years. And I've had very minimal problems, a few little issues, but nothing, major that's consuming my time or getting me frustrated. And so, and really, any of these things that I talked about today, the photos, description, packing things, packing comic books well, it can be on really any platform, whether you're selling on Instagram, whether you're doing a live auction on YouTube, Mercari. Any of the other sites that are out there, if you follow these principles, they're kind of universal. They will work well on any platform you decide to use to sell comic books. So, again, I hope you will consider subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, hit the like button, drop me a comment, and let me know what you think. Let me know where do you prefer to sell books? Where do you prefer to buy books? Love to get some feedback on the video and just your overall thoughts on buying and selling online. And what other tips would you add? Good photos, good description, good, packing and shipping. And what other tools do you use to find out what books should be priced? How are they selling competitively? Let me know. Drop them in the comments, and I'd love to hear how you guys are doing things out there. So thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.